Guys, I'm really angry and I'm really fed up. And it's actually about one of the most beautiful diving destinations in the world. And I actually wanted to go there next year, maybe. It was actually pretty high on the list. And I really apologize for freaking out now, but the issue just has to be addressed. It's now October 2025. Starting next month, from November, the Maldives, one of the most beautiful destinations in the world, want to allow shark fishing again. Currently, only the gulper shark and the whole thing in a managed fishery. That's bullshit. Why? Controls are simply not possible there. Why? The takeover happens on the high seas, then the parts are gone. Nobody can control anything. Nobody can manage anything. And yeah, do you think it will only stay with the gulper shark? Do you think it will remain controlled in any form? No. Why are they doing this? Well, officially they want to generate a source of income again. Also, that's the biggest, sorry, I'm really saying this, crap ever. Because the Maldives are absolutely not dependent on this income. It's even proven that a living shark brings in much more money in the form of tourism because tourists go there to see the sharks. But well, if you just kill them, the money comes in faster, but it's also gone for good. So you can see the idiocy behind this yourself. And unofficially, sure, this is now a nice rapprochement to China, because it happened right after a visit to China by the head of state of the Maldives. The consequences of that. Sure, the shark is a super predator, but as a super predator, it plays an important role in every marine ecosystem. And if it's gone, the entire food chain collapses or is at least severely disrupted. And that doesn't just affect us divers. Yeah, sure, if it were just us divers, it wouldn't be so bad because you don't see the animals. No, it runs completely through. Then other animals that the shark normally eats can proliferate. Then they eat more herbivores, and as a result, you end up with far too many other organisms, namely these tiny creatures and the primary producers, and the whole ecosystem tips over. So that's worth another video. I don't want to go into that in more detail right now. Right now, I'm simply focused on what we might be able to do about it. There are currently several petitions. I'm putting 2 of them as QR codes here in the video. You can now scan them if you're watching this on your phone. I'm also putting the links again in the description below. You can then sign the petition because a petition is also a letter that can be sent to a few places in the Maldives. I will also do that. And what else can be done? This is now the slightly less pleasant version, but it also needs to be addressed, simply not planning a Maldives vacation anymore. So what are the consequences of that? Okay, you can sign the petition. That's easy. At first, it has no negative impact on anyone. But does it make sense? Yes. Is it founded on success? I don't know, because as I already said, China as a big player in the global market is involved here, and they obviously have interest in shark fishing. And therefore, I don't want to badmouth the petition in any way. I'm just saying, I don't know how it will turn out. The other alternative. You don't go on vacation anymore. Who is ultimately, at least in the short term, affected by this? The entire tourism industry, whether it's hotels, diving bases, resources, diving instructors, dive guides, and so on. This could also theoretically affect other countries. If people are getting diving certificates for the Maldives, it might also impact the German industry here. But now you have to say, tourism is literally one of the largest sources of foreign income for the Maldives. That means the governments would really feel it, even in terms of money. And we also have a high employment rate of all locals in the tourism industry. They probably wouldn't be amused by it either, and perhaps through the local sentiment, a change in thinking could be achieved. This must also be addressed because depending on the scale, and one must consider this now, there are of course different statements, depending on the year, but up to 70% of the total contribution to the Maldives GDP, up to 70%, comes from this tourism sector. As I said, it depends on the year, the standards, directly or indirectly. There's no need to go into more detail about that now, but it could make a difference. But of course, I don't want to ruin the tourism industry in the Maldives. I just want to provoke some thought. So what does all this mean for me? I definitely won't be taking my Maldives vacation next year. So it wasn't booked yet. But the Maldives was, I must honestly say, one of the top destinations where I actually wanted to go next year. With the information, I say quite honestly, I do not support, my channel does not support, and therefore we will temporarily avoid the Maldives for now. We hope there will be a change in thinking here because we would like to go there, but with Mexico, the Philippines, Malaysia, we have plenty of other top spots where we can go. Of course, it's nowhere perfect, but it has worked great in the Maldives for the past 15 years. To overturn everything now after 15 years makes no sense at all. I just want to make a statement, and I would be interested to know how you do it. Feel free to ask me in the comments below. Will you be traveling to the Maldives? Do you simply not care? That can be the case too. Or have you not heard about it at all? It would be great if the video gets a lot of reach. I want to emphasize again, I do not want to call for a major Maldives boycott because I know the ones who will suffer in the end, at least in the short term, will be the diving bases. But problems need to be addressed. And I believe that without money coming into the country from other sources, there will likely be no change in thinking under the current circumstances. Until next time, I say, always good air. Ciao.